So, cuz I've been watching you, man, and I've been watching you, and I've been watching you, and I've been learning, and it has been like a movie, bro. Like, I mean, when because of you've been through the fire, you've been through the temptation, and I'm a God fearing man. I love God as first and foremost in my life over everything. And so when I recognize a man of God and I see it in real time, and brother, so you invited me to the Circle of Brotherhood through a calling from God. That was a confirmation for me from a prayer that I had to Him. So when I look at you and you say that, I know what I'm hearing. I know you because you my cousin, but I know the voices the words that you would use to me that day wasn't your words. They were your sound. They came from your vocal cord. But when you said that, it confirmed, because like I said, God, if you would let me out the prison house, I'm gonna go out and go back into my community and serve it faithfully for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? And so again, I didn't know how, because God used vehicles to convey His word.
Absolutely.
You know. And so once again, brother, you brought another powerful brother in the Circle of Brotherhood, Brother Lamont Nanton.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
You know.
Can't say enough about Pop the Ripple. You know, I've been knowing Pop for about 20 years. And I've seen Pop out here doing kingdom work, doing the same thing he's doing now. And I knew he was a gifted young man that had a heart for God and had a heart for God's people. And through his company, Ice Squad Entertainment, Integrity, Character, and Excellence, I've been seeing him move in that space of positivity in terms of hip hop. I was doing gospel hip hop, and it was merging together because we was doing a lot of our events together. And I saw Pop one day, and I just said, hey man, listen, I want you to come to our prayer breakfast. Invited him to him as a prayer breakfast. And so he came, and just the same thing. I just once I invite you, it's not on me, it's on God.
Yes, sir.
And so he found his niche, he found his lane, he found his purpose. God called his heart, and he joined the brotherhood. And since then, I've seen him skyrocket to a whole nother level as a man. And now he's married, found a helpmate, another community activist, a phenomenon in our community, Susan Bullets, who I just happen to be wearing some of her attire today. You know, Susan Bullets laced me up with her. You already know. She laced me. This the only jewelry I wear besides my wedding band. You know what I mean?
Bullets for life.
Absolutely, Bullets for life. Shout out to Susan Bullets, man. But man, Pop is a rock star, man. And just like this, the ceremony that we had today, that's Leroy. The ceremony we had today, commemorating our brothers. One of our brothers in particular, Andre Soul, our Urban TV. He was our media guy for the Circle of Brotherhood.
Yes, sir.
Brother would capture all of our history. He had a lot of our historic moments and events and cruises and all kind of things that we did as an organization. Dre was our guy.
Yes, sir.
And I always used to tell Dre, I said, man, Dre, you need some help, man. You doing a lot, bro. Because I saw him trying to build his own thing with our Urban TV.
Yeah.
And I say, you're gonna find yourself overstressed because you got brotherhood stuff going on, and then you got our urban stuff going on. So I said, you just need somebody that can assist you. And then God sent Pop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then God sent Kenyatta. So we just been building. Now you're doing the podcast, Sunny Days 305. And so we got you, and now we got Jay. And so Circle of Brotherhood now is going to become, or already is, a multimedia conglomerate to capture our history and to tell the history the way that it needs to be told from our voice and from our own experiences.
Oh, brother, well, speaking of, you know, as you were speaking and you was talking about the podcast, and, you know, and which brought me to mind, you know, our engineer, Jay, he's our engineer.
Yes.
Who so happened to be in a residency in the Miami Rescue Mission.
Yes. The House of Refuge.
The House of Refuge, a place that you helped to build, up, that a place that where you went to really do what it is that you do. And I remember me getting out, not out that long. You took me to do some community service at the Rescue Mission.
Absolutely. The Miami Rescue Mission helped build me who I am today. I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today had it not been for the Miami Rescue Mission. I'm a grateful graduate and alumni of the Miami Rescue Mission. Graduated from Alpha 65, 2005. Came through the Miami Rescue Mission's broken and torn, bro. You know, one shoe on, one shoe off, wandering in the wilderness, struggling with crack addiction, alcohol addiction, and many other addictions. And I went to the House of Refuge, man, and didn't know that it was a discipleship program. I thought it was just a drug treatment program that just dealt with the drug addiction. No, I needed a spiritual resonation. I need to be spiritually clean from the inside out. And so I got involved in ministry at an early stage of the mission. And so I started just following some of the foot soldiers that God had already planted at the mission, like my caseworkers and my counselors and my mentors like Minister Robert Allen and Tony Villa-Sousa and Reverend Ronnie Hill and Charlie Gordon and Larry. I could just go on and on. Larry Melvin, some of my brothers like Barikan Hall that's now working for the city of Miami Beach Police that's helping the homeless on the beach. We're all graduates. So all of us have branched out as graduates, and now we're all doing this same work, the same place that helped raise us up. Now we're helping brothers get raised up the same way. So I've been helping brothers off the streets, helping sisters off the streets for over 20 years.
Well, thank you for your work. So, what are you doing? What is your name of your organization? What events you got on? What you got going on?
Well, I have a nonprofit organization. My mother, when I was in the mission, my mother had started an organization called the Christian Women's Club Corporation. It was just her and her best friend. They've been best friends for over 50 years. And they was just going to houses and helping women that was single mothers, helping them with Pampers and diapers, and if they were struggling with light bills and rent, they would help them and raise a little money and then, give it to them as, go buy groceries for them, stuff like that. And so she asked me to become a part of the men's division. She wanted to start a men's division. So it started off as the Christian Women's Club Corporation and the Christian Men's Club Corporation. And she asked me, did I want to become president? And I was like, okay, Mom. Because all my life, man, all I wanted to do was really, after all the stuff that I took my mom through, my mom coming to see me in prison, my mama having to be patted down to come see me, looking at me behind glass, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I owe it to my old girl, you know what I mean?
Yes.
For the stuff that I took her through, the phone calls she got, at night, hearing the sirens, thinking it was me, you know? I was obliged to jump at that opportunity to make it right with my mother. So I became the president of the Christian Men's Club Corporation, which now we're known as Sharing Hope, Empowerment, and Reaction, SHARE Inc., which was established in 2001. So I just didn't know anything about a nonprofit organization, didn't know anything about grants, didn't know anything about executive boards and all this other stuff. I just wanted to do God's work.
Yes.
So I built my legacy and built the foundation of the organization, which started with God, and it still is God.
Yes.
And it's all about God, and we just do God's work.
That's right.
So any event that I do, it's a vision from God first, and then it comes to fruition when He manifests it into what it is. So I'm gonna give you an example. We just did our minority mental health event. This month we coming up on August. This is National Black Business Month. So now I'm doing a Black Business Financial Literacy Expo. Reason being, we need to get our house in order, cuz.
Yes, sir.
What is it for us to be out here doing all this work in the community and then we don't have nothing to leave our families?
Yes, sir.
Because a lot of people think we get paid to do what we do.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people think we out here doing this because we getting a check and all this other.
Yeah.
No, we doing this because this is God's kingdom work. So I feel that God's paycheck for me is favor that He gave me by sparing my life from a life sentence.
Yes, sir.
God's paycheck to me is that I'm not 6 feet under like a lot of my homies ended up, you know what I mean? On death row.
Yeah.
So that's His paycheck. He's paid it forward by raising me up out the pit of hell that He found me in.
Yes, sir.
So I never got into this to make money. I never got into this like, oh, this is a come up. Because that's normally how we try to sell it to a brother. Oh man, come on in, man. They're gonna hook you up with money and woo woo woo. And see, when you're driven and led by that, then I know your intentions ain't pure. You ain't gonna sustain yourself doing this type of work with a mindset of just making money.
Right.
So that's what SHARE Inc. is. It's a faith-based organization that's about doing kingdom work, and that's what we've been doing for the past 20 years, feeding the least, the last, and the left out, looking for those who need it the most like us, returning citizens who still find barriers when we come out of prison. Even though we're doing this great work, we still find barriers in getting certain things done. So now we have to be the voice for the voiceless, for those who can't speak for themselves. God planted me and you back out here so that we can leave a pathway for the brothers that's still incarcerated.
Yes, sir. And so what's the date, the time of your upcoming event?
Our event is taking place August 24th. It's going to be at the Liberty Square Community Center. You'll see the flyer on my social media platforms. That's on 24th of August from 12 noon to 4 p.m. And we're gonna have some iconic panelists like we've had before. Leroy Jones, who is the architect of the Mom and Pop Grant that has put over $40 million into the community for small businesses.
Have put how much?
40 million.
40 million.
40 million.
Leroy Jones.
Leroy Jones, our lead organizer. Okay. We've had Terry Williams, who is the owner of the largest black-owned bank in the country. She's right here in Miami. We have access to her. Mm-hmm. Gordon Eric Knowles, who is the president of the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce, he's Circular Brotherhood. Mm-hmm. You know, we got Ed Haynes, who owns the largest black-owned security firm in the state of Florida. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yes. We got the Sweetings, who is doing fantastic work in the community with their private school, with their party rental company. We have so many different people that can disseminate information to the community, because we need these types of events happening in our community. Right there in the Pork and Beans. Some people call it the Pork and Bean Projects, but we now know it as Liberty Square.
Yes, sir.
But like we talked about before, there's a narrative about our community that people don't want to come back. People don't want to be, you know, they don't want to come to Liberty City.
Right.
They've heard things, right? But there's some good, honest, hardworking people that want to see their community do better, and they want better, and they deserve better. And so that's the reason why we bring them quality events like this, because they deserve quality events. We ain't bringing them no garbage.
Great. So lastly, I want to talk about the Hunger Nine, because people, they look at me and wonder why I go so hard and I'm so bold in my stance, and I don't have a fearful bone in my body, so I don't mind speaking truth to power. You know what I mean? But when you literally put your life on the line, you know, it hits different for me. You know. So you being one of the Hunger Nine, man, in a nutshell, what was that experience like for you?
Besides my recovery of being 20 years clean and sober from drugs and alcohol addiction, of course it wouldn't be a Hunger Nine. I wouldn't be a part of it if I wasn't in my sobriety, if I wasn't in my right frame of mind, first of all, and if I wasn't called by God, because a lot of people don't really know what we really went through on a day-to-day basis in the spiritual warfare that was going on with us.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And the physical toll that it was taking on our bodies and on our minds. Not only just on our minds, on our wives' minds, because we left wives at home.
Yes, sir.
Why our wives had to buy in before we even got permission to even go out there and sacrifice our lives, because that was our livelihood that we was sacrificing as well.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people don't see the sacrifice. They hear about it, but they don't really understand. It hasn't resonated with them yet, the sacrifice that we made. We heard about stories of Gandhi. I remember going to school and reading books and hearing about Gandhi doing the 21 and a half day fast, and that's solidified in history.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so oftentimes with black men, unfortunately, we don't get our roses until they go on top of our grave.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like you gotta die to be honored. And that's why our youth have a warped perception of death, because they see their loved ones dying behind gun violence, and it almost looks honorable to die by gun violence versus just dying by natural causes.
Yeah.
You understand the reverse psychology of that spiritual warfare?
Yes.
So now these young kids, the ones that are out there, they don't value the life, they value the death.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's why we have to reverse that mindset, and that's what the Hunger Nine was about, was just to open up a dialogue with our community, not to stop gun violence, but to have a conversation. And from that conversation, we can lower the gun violence rate. We can lower or open up opportunities for those who may even be caught in that struggle, because remember now, not just the perpetuators of gun violence, but we talking about not just the victims, but we also talking about the perpetuators that we're trying to reach. We want to reach them boys.
Yes, sir.
We want to reach them shooters. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And so God had to raise up guys like me and you that had street cred that people can see and say, oh, Sonny a part of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
oh, brother Durden, Joker Loke, he a part of it. I'm talking about from my homies back in Compton.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Joker. They know who I was when I was in the street, so they know it was real when we was out there, and it's real now. So that's what I got out of the Hunger Nine, and it's a legacy that I honor to this day. Like, that God even saw fit to use me in that capacity.
So Hunger 9 was 9 brothers, me, street minister, and 7 other brothers. We went on a 21.5-day hunger strike to bring awareness and to have an internal dialogue with our community, simply asking them to put the guns down.
Mm-hmm.
This Sunny Days 305 Degrees podcast, we thank you, Brother Minister, for honoring us with your presence, because we know so much is going on in your very, very busy life.
Absolutely.
But you chose in our robbery to stop down here.
Wouldn't miss this.
At Sunny Days 305 Degrees podcast to sit down with your cousin, your blood.
You already know.
And for me to say openly in front of the world, thank you, man, for surrendering your vessel, brother.
No, thank you for obeying God's call. Thank you for obeying God's call. Peace.
Peace.